New Jersey? Are you there? I'll tell you what, New Jersey, I'm going to put you back on mute. I'm going to check on you in a little bit. Let's go out to Miami, Florida. Can you hear me, Miami? Hello?
Hello?
There we go. Now I hear you.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? Oh, it's Jonathan. How are you, Jonathan?
I'm good. How are you?
Another day in paradise. What's on your mind?
Yeah. With the Patriots, you know, we called it this last year. It's documented on my YouTube channel, One Infinite Consciousness. We said it was either the Patriots or the Steelers, one or two. But now I see where the Giants riddle came in is that Tom Coughlin, the former coach of the Giants,
is with the Jags.
He's the head man in Jacksonville.
Right.
He's the head man in Jacksonville, so that was the riddle with the Giants.
Right.
You know,
right.
But,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Also,
about
Tom Coughlin, real quick. Tom Coughlin and Gematria sums to 52. Jaguars having a great season. The word floods 52. As we know, Jacksonville got the worst of it in Florida from Irma. Jacksonville beat Houston in week 1. I think that game was delayed, if I'm not mistaken, because of the weather or something happened with it.
Yeah, the Dolphins were going to play the Bucks, and they canceled the first game of the season, and they made it up on their bye week.
That's right. It was those teams that got the cancellation.
Yeah.
And also, I noticed that Bortles, the quarterback, Bortles equals 98. 98th season of the NFL, Super Bowl 52. So, Jags got some numbers that go with this year.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? And like people here, they're like in Tallahassee, it's only 2.5 hour drive to Jacksonville. So these people around here, they're like going Jaguar crazy, and I'm like, wake up, boy. You know, all this is rigged. It's all scripted. Come on, you saw that that play with New Orleans? Come on. I mean, like, come on. That's like a Girl Scout could have made that tackle.
Oh, man. You know I'm actually not surprised. I'm actually not surprised that people don't see it because, you know, if I have to take September 11th and that football play and say, which one of these is a more obvious lie to you? I mean, to me, September 11th is an even more obvious lie, and most people didn't see that either. So how can I expect them to see the obvious missed tackle in the rigged NFL league? It's like, these people just can't see the obvious.
Right. I mean, he's in the air. I mean, and that ball, when Keenum threw that ball, they had some air on it. It wasn't like a straight rifle. It had some air. Diggs had to jump up in the air to grab it. You know what I mean? He was up in the air for a second to grab it, you know, and then here comes the safety, you know, a big safety. You know, you play in the NFL, you get paid millions of dollars to do this. You know what I'm saying? This is the biggest moment of your career right now. And he just goes to the tackle and just complete air. He just goes nothing but thin air. That's what.
And you watch the analysis, the TV analysts are saying, well, he is a rookie, and this is a rookie. It's just like, okay, please.
I don't care if he's a rookie.
Exactly. This guy plays football for a living. He's one of the best football players in the world. That's why he's in the league. I mean, at that age, you know how to play your sport, especially if you're in the NFL. I don't want to hear any of this. He's a rookie. Business. It was the easiest tackle in the world. And it's not just that, too. It's also the coaches, because you're like, well, why were they in that defense anyway? Why wasn't there another safety back there? Pretty much the only scenario they had was to get to that area of the field and pray for field goal range. So it just doesn't make sense on all sorts of levels. And plus, knowing the code, you can just see how obviously it's scripted. Again, the 61-yard miracle, and miracle equals 61 plus everything else. Philadelphia, 61. They're on their way to Philadelphia. It's just, you couldn't get a better example to expose how these sports are rigged. And if people just want to keep saying it's all coincidence, then there's not a lot of hope for these people who say that. So.
Right, but they got to ramp it up, though. See, this is just the beginning of it, because
Right.
Once we get to the Super Bowl, it's gonna be something even more ridiculous. They gotta keep ramping it up. They gotta keep making sure, and I still try to tell people here in Tallahassee, stop driving 2.5 hours to Jacksonville and paying to see the Jaguars and paying $10 hot dogs, paying $15 for a beer. See, nobody's looking out for your health in this world. You know, they want you to eat these poisonous foods. You know, nobody's looking out for your health. Nobody's telling you to eat vegetables and fruits. You know what I'm saying? They want you to go to a rigged game. What do I look like going to a rigged game, paying all this money, driving way to Jacksonville? I'm not doing that. I don't support any of these leagues.
Right. And that's everybody needs to get on that level. I mean, people need to realize that we are getting played for fools. People don't have the humility to admit that they've been duped by these rigged leagues and they're getting taken for a ride. But everyone needs to do it and do themselves a favor. But, you know, I mean, just everywhere in society, being invested in the sports game is important, and it's reemphasized. And even at the end of the last radio show, I mean, the co-host on there said, "Go Vikings," and it's just like, man, really? I mean, like, is this Truth Frequency Radio? Am I not the radio show that goes after this, that exposes every week how these games are scripted to the point? I just, man.
Yeah.
The sports games
I agree. It's like,
yeah. The sports are one of the central things that is controlling the mind of the manpower, and it has to be broken.
Right. That's why I always try to, you know, use that specific subject, because it seems like that's what everybody's into. So that's why I try to bring it up. But you're saying, I mean, really, it's just a big joke. And we predicted that the Patriots were going to win the Super Bowl before the season started. Since week 3 with the flag narrative, you predicted the Eagles. We've been on that path all the way since the beginning. So from now, I'm not going to change it. So I'm saying Patriots over Eagles. And I'm going to even take it as far as say we've already looked at the evidence that proves that shows that the Patriots are going to probably win it next year. So just to complete the three-peat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Brady goes out with 7. Not 6, but 7.
And next year is the 49th Super Bowl of the modern era, which has a square root of 7, which is part of the reason I've been talking about that. It would be something if they had Brady face Jimmy G and the 49ers. I wouldn't put it past them. But, if you want to use the decode, some news that just came out for the Super Bowl is they announced who the head referee is for Super Bowl 52 tonight, and his name in gematria sums to 62, like Minneapolis, like how Tom Brady could go 6-2. Using the 4-base ciphers, his name also sums to 199. Tom Brady, the 199th pick of the NFL draft, 199, the 46th prime. Patriots equals 46. Tom Brady, 46. Michigan equals 46. Tom Brady, drafted out of Michigan. He became the starter in Michigan in 98, college and NFL connected. This is the 98th season of the NFL. The last year the Vikings were in the NFC Championship was the 98-99 season, if I'm not mistaken. They had a heartbreak that year in the NFC Championship against the Falcons, who the Eagles knocked off. So we'll see what happens this week, but a lot's been lining up.
With the 62, you remember you predicted it from last Super Bowl, 62 attempts in the last Super Bowl, 62 passing attempts for Tom Brady. And then he wins the most passing yardage by 62 yards over Phillip Rivers. You know, they're giving us all these 62s. And remember, the reflection also counts in this study. The reflection is 26. AFC, they get the 26.
And the Patriots won in Week 17 with a score of 26-6. AFC would get its 26th Super Bowl. Brady would get its 6th. And those numbers always remind me of the Bible, because man is made on the 6th day in the 26th verse of the Bible. You know, athletes in this world are pretty much God, and they make Tom Brady to be the biggest god of them all, which is just a complete joke. So,
right, somebody with no athleticism. Everybody in the NFL, you got to bow down to Lord Brady.
If you know what, I would be. I don't care if I'm wrong. I almost would rather see Tom Brady lose and him not be in the game because I hate him so much. But the way bettors are thinking, because see, they set up all these narratives to screw over the bettors. The gambling man who doesn't realize the games are rigged, they're thinking, okay, Jacksonville's got this awesome defense. They get to every quarterback. They've been hurting quarterbacks all year. Tom Brady's old. He can hardly move. They're like, this game's perfect for the Jags. And the media's been talking about it that way, too. So I'm interested to see if Brady even gets touched in the game, because in a normal game, nobody even lays a finger on Tom Brady, which always makes me laugh. Well, we'll see what happens in this AFC Championship, so...
Right. You got the most vicious defense in the league, but still, no matter what kind of defense you got, you still can't get to them.
That's how it's been historically.
More proof for that's just more proof for the rigging. And then even if like I was saying with the Vikings, let's say the Vikings do make it, they took Teddy Bridgewater out the equation, they took Dalvin Cook out the equation, and now here comes Brady, and they win in Minnesota, a home game, just to crush all the fans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just to crush all the Minnesota fans. And those same Goy fans next year will be right back in that stadium, filling that stadium up.
Yeah, that's the sad thing. I'm thinking about the teams the Patriots have beat. Panthers. Have the Patriots beat the Rams in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that was his first one. That was Brady's first one.
Yeah. Rams. So I'm thinking about the Rams and the Vikings.
Yeah.
They both have horns on their helmet, and then they've beaten the bird teams. They've beaten the Eagles, the Seahawks. Is there another one they've beaten? Just think about the teams.
Falcons.
Anyway, I'm not coming off this Patriots-Eagles narrative. A million things line up for it. I've been talking about it all year.
Yeah, I'm not coming off it either. Hey, and you were right. That's why this work should be already. You should be the most famous person in the world because of all these predictions based off gematria. This goes to show you that this is the real code, but people are so, I don't know what it is with people.
Everything's a coincidence. Everything's a coincidence, man.
Everything. No, and RFG, he's talking about, RFG is a person who has a YouTube channel, RFG Chosen One. He's talking about charging people for his Super Bowl pick. His Super Bowl pick was the Bills versus the Panthers. Both of these teams lost early.
And then he came back and told his people to get his money by betting on Saints over the Patriots. And now that that's not happening, now he's telling people to get it back with Jaguars and Vikings. It's like, man, you put out 3 picks in a week and you guaranteed 2 of them and they didn't land, man. You got to hang it up. Yeah, I feel bad for that guy. I had him on this radio show a couple months back to try to see if he was a decent person, and I tried to be nice to him on the show, but he's just a liar and a fraud and a dishonest human being, and that's just who he is. So
yeah, he's just a goy. Like you're trying to actually charge people. Your subscribers, the people who follow you, you're trying to charge these people for these bogus picks that Your record is not good at all for anybody to be following you. Same thing with Tony.
I don't know how people listen to RFG because he'll do something like this. He'll be like, the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen, the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen, will be the Bills and the Panthers, ladies and gentlemen, and the reason why is Wildcat, 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 ladies and gentlemen, Wildcat. And you're like, what? I don't know who's following that guy. That's exactly how he talks. He says the same thing over 20 times, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's always wrong. It's like, okay, you got to turn this guy off. So, RFG. Yeah. I know he's out there listening, too. The only thing he ever got right is when he copied me on the Broncos over the Panthers. And what's sad is he got national media attention for that from the guy who wrote the book. See, that just tells me that guy who wrote the book, The Fix Is In or whatever, about how sports are rigged, he's some shill too because he gave RFG attention. And that guy, I even reached out to that guy. I've been trying to link up with that guy. He's trying to expose rigged sports. I figured out the code. That guy never gets back to me, but he wanted to give RFG attention. RFG's down in Vegas too, and always giving people wrong picks. I don't think that's any coincidence either. I think he's somehow tied into that whole shill network. So, yeah, it's just like.
I read parts of that book. That does make sense though. That does make sense that that dude that wrote that book is a shill. The Fix is in Brian Toohey,
Yeah, that's
something like that.
That is his name. Yeah, that guy won't talk to me. So it's like, but he'll give RFG attention. I don't understand it. So. Anything else going on, Jonathan?
No, that's it. I just called in. Let you get back to the next callers.
I appreciate it. Though. Thanks for always uploading this show. I appreciate that too.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, keep it going. Will do. You do the same, man. Have a good night.
All right.
All right, see you.